And welcome back to Global HR News. As you could see here, this is our logo, and this is a unit of globalbusinessnews.net, and of course, Global TV Talk Show. Our very special guest today is MEHIBE Hill, and she's in Barcelona. Welcome again.
Thank you for having me, Ed. Thank you very much.
That's
Thanks for the
great.
warm welcome back.
You sound great. The voice is strong, and the light coming in on your hair is beautiful.
Thank
So,
you.
so I have the courage to have you back on the show, and the theme is courage.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, thank you for sharing your courage with me. And I've had the courage to come back for a second installment, right? So
And I
playing
have to
playing on each
tell
other's
you,
courage here. I like it.
yeah. So, the last time we talked, the theme was courage versus confidence. What's better? What's real? Could you just quickly sum up the difference between confidence and courage, and then we'll go forward?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So the reason that I have this concept of courage being such a powerhouse value is because I believe that small acts of courage build confidence. Just to set the scene, right? But behind why we're talking about courage today, and for me, they're very distinct in terms of what they are and how they can support us. So for me, courage is about doing something that's outside of your comfort zone, within uncertainty, at risk. So when I say at risk, I don't mean physically at risk, because for me that concept means brave. You know, if we think about a firefighter going into a burning house, that's bravery. When it's courage, that can apply to anything on in our daily life. So when I say at risk, it's basically doing something not knowing what the outcome will be. So actually taking a risk in doing something, not knowing what's going to happen or what the repercussion is, but just doing it anyway. With confidence, the way I like to think about it is it's a continual investment. Confidence is not a state of outcome. You know, it's not something that you finally reach and you're like, oh, I'm confident now and I've got self-confidence. For me, it's about investing in that feeling of confidence, which is about your assurance levels. So, like most things in life, there's ups and downs. And so, confidence within is about securing an assurance level that you can use to support yourself to do stuff. But it starts with courage. Yeah.
So one step at a time, right?
One
Builds
step at a time.
more courage for bigger things.
Yeah, absolutely. That's my motto. So when I'm supporting clients and I talk about this powerful equation that helps us to do stuff and grow and to learn, I talk about small acts of courage, build confidence. Because if you're able to reach out into uncertainty, not knowing what the outcome is, and take a risk, you're essentially building more self-trust. And so, the more self trust that you build, one step at a time, it's easier for us to consume in our brain. It's easier for us to see our progress. And that is how you build confidence. Like you say, Ed, it's one step at a time, or as I would refer to it, one small courageous act at a time.
So getting over the imposter syndrome is key.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. I
So it's
mean,
it's normal to have those. Am, am I good enough? Am I okay to do something bold?
yeah. Oh, it's completely normal. I mean, I haven't met a single person, I haven't coached a single client who hasn't shared that they have imposter-like thoughts. So when we think of ourselves as being an imposter in a real life situation, if we apply that, it is essentially feeling like you're a fraud in your own life. You know, you're questioning your authenticity, you're questioning the reality as well of where you are. And especially when we apply that into the work context, you you think that you are in a place of success by sheer luck, or you're not able to attribute your success to yourself. And so imposter like thoughts, like you shared, Ed, I'm not good enough. People will find out, I'm a fraud. I am a fraud. I'm an imposter. I can't do this. It's really centered around what I refer to as unhelpful thoughts. That's what imposter syndrome is. It's this voice inside our head that's talking at us in the most unhelpful moments. Because you'll find it only crops up when you're in a particular emotional state or you're facing a challenge and your emotions are heightened.
So avoidance, procrastination to do something that it's a problem. I mean, that's normal.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Again, very normal. So um a lot of what I see in humans, because ultimately, Ed, we're just all humans trying to do our best in this very complicated and complex world and life that we're living in. And it is so much easier and safer. So I'm referring to the brain again. It's easier for our brain to stay in a safe place. And so it's easy to do that by avoiding what needs to be done or avoiding the conversations that need to happen. And part of that avoidance can also lead to procrastination. So actually, you could be quite busy, I'd say, doing other things that also add value. But actually, you're just avoiding and dancing around the challenge or the issue that you're facing. And so that's why avoidance and procrastination is time and time again the challenge that I see humans facing, or they're actually using it as a tool to avoid all the courage they actually need to put into practice to deal with the bigger issue here.
So what about this concept of silent time and how does all this wrap up?
Did you say silent time?
Yeah.
Silent time. So the the silent killer of time. Yeah, I think that's where that's coming from. So what I'm seeing in all of us humans, and I'm the same, I'm still a human at the end of the day, is that essentially where we are avoiding or procrastinating, what we are doing is losing time. So actually, the thing that we're really good at as humans is avoidance, putting our head in the sand, doing all the other things that need to be done. But what it's doing actually is killing your opportunities to embrace a better world, a better future for yourself. So actually, that's why I refer to those things as the silent killers of time, because that is a cost to us. If you're in avoidance or procrastination mode, you are costing yourself time. And actually, behind that, then you're costing yourself a lot of energy, a lot of focus, the way that you could use your energy in other ways that is more helpful. So that's why I call them the silent killers of time. Yeah.
So in some of your writings that I've read, you use the word the uglies.
Yeah.
What is that?
The uglies. Yeah. Yeah. The good, the bads, and the uglies. So, this concept of the uglies comes from when I talk about us having the courage to accept ourselves. And when I say accept ourselves, look in the mirror and just go, you know what? All of the bads and the uglies, the uglies are the stuff that you just don't want to think about. You ever had that feeling, Ed, when you think about a certain part of yourself? For me, it's I'm quite controlling, especially in my relationship with my partner, and I'm working on it so much, and I've made lots of strides, but I'm not perfect. Again, I'm human. And so when you think about the uglies, it's the parts of yourself that makes you go, ugh, that makes you just want to, cover your face or hide away. And so if we have the courage to really put the mirror up and look at the uglies, embrace them, and go, yes, I am controlling. Yes, I am a perfectionist, which is causing huge challenges for myself. Love your uglies And then you can start to unlock a sense of freedom, because actually, once you start to embrace and love your uglies, then you can start to just accept yourself. And if you're able to accept yourself, then actually we can start doing all the good work to dim the noise of that imposter voice, of that inner critic that has so much hold over us. So loving and embracing your uglies is really important in this process.
So the imposter thing, I'm circling back to that because it takes on a life of its own, I think. And I'm just
Mm.
thinking about myself, um, but I know some other people who will go nameless that think of themselves as, oh, I don't want to be viewed that way, so I'm not going to say or do things. So
Mm.
avoidance.
Yeah. Or in that situation, I would the because you're referring to perception there, Ed, of how others see us,
Yeah.
and so we avoid particular behaviors. I refer to that process as masking, where we are masking our true selves to support an external view, to support us to receive external validation, to receive something that's going to make us feel good in that moment. We're looking for that dopamine hit, if someone's saying, great job, you're awesome, whatever it is. And we engage in particular behaviors that maybe aren't natural to us, or it's hiding something, then that is masking. And it's very tiring to be in that mode for a prolonged period, which is why, people that suffer with imposter syndrome and it goes into its most severe state actually have burnouts. you know this is a fact that if that imposter voice is so loud and you're masking and masking and masking in your behaviors, it's exhausting. Yeah.
Okay, so how do we stop that? Do we go out for a walk or pour a glass of scotch or what do we do?
Yeah. Oh gosh, yes. So the first step, Ed, is really this acceptance piece. It's really just coming to an understanding with yourself, accepting the uglies, like I've referred to before, and giving yourself the opportunity to open up self-kindness and compassion for yourself, because we are so hard on ourselves. We are our worst critic. If you think about someone who in your life that might be hard on you, think about how hard we are on ourselves. We are so judgmental of ourselves. So being able to embrace even a shift of self-kindness and compassion. And actually what you're referring to about, maybe a shot of scotch or a walk, actually, that reminds me of something I do support clients with, not necessarily providing them with scotch, but in those moments where that imposter voice is loud in your head, actually labeling it and saying, okay, I feel whatever that might be, I feel anxious, or I'm worried, or I can notice that thought has come up again, that I'm not good enough. Writing it down and then actually moving away from your environment. So I call it like you're in deferral, or you're in a state of distraction, which is actually quite helpful, because the imposter thoughts are going to trigger an emotional response from you. So actually going away and maybe having that shot of scotch, or taking a walk, doing something that's mindful, taking some deep breaths, going on a walk, maybe putting your earphones in for 10 minutes, reading a book, getting out of your environment and changing it up and doing something else that's more of a mindful exercise, then yes, I would recommend that. Emotional
Fascinating.
regulation is important. Yeah.
Fascinating talking with you about this, and thank you for being my guest today on Global TV Talk Show. This has been brief, and I
Yeah.
welcome you to come back and do another
Yeah.
episode
Would
next
love
week
to.
or the week after. And one day we're going to meet in person somewhere.
Yeah. You're coming to Barcelona soon, I hope.
Well, it's
this
not
year?
final yet. Trying to get sponsors and hosts, and then we could step on the gas and make it happen
Mm,
fast. I'm
mm.
targeting April 25
Yes.
as the day, which is 2 days later after my live London meeting. And so, but it's not final yet. I,
Mm,
and as a conference producer and developer, it's like writing a screenplay for a movie or a TV show or Broadway
mm,
play. Then you have to bring all the people together and fund it and make it uh, not a waste of time for people. So something dramatic has to be the anchor, if you will. Why should
mm.
I waste time? Why should I be there? And that's what I'm wrestling with now. Okay, how to go about this. So I've been waiting for, and I'll be brief here, the go-ahead from somebody important um, that will help me, finesse the uglies of putting together one of these events and make it really zoom forward and be worthwhile for people who will pay a registration fee.
Nice. Well, good luck with that. It sounds really exciting, and I'm looking forward to welcoming you into Barcelona and having perhaps a shot of whiskey, or we could have a beer or a glass of wine, perhaps with some cheese as well. Whatever feels good for you. But I look forward to seeing you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Hebe. I really
Thank
appreciate your
you.
time and
Me too.
trust.
I really appreciate yours. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thank
This
you.
is Ed
Bye.
signing off in San Diego and MEHIBE in Barcelona. Ciao.